I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Yes, it does, Bill. Welcome in the Daily Puck Drop Monday, June 2nd. We're into June already. Hello, kiddos. Thank you for watching and listening live on YouTube. Puck Sports on Twitter, Puck Sports. Also, listening on the Puck Sports mobile app. You can download it today to your smartphone. If you do not know that, if you're just streaming this right now, watching us, and you're like, oh, I can listen to you on the move, on the go. Yes, you can. And in your car with Apple CarPlay. Puck Sports mobile app for iPhone and Android users. Download it from the App Store and also Google Play. Now, the live viewers, if you're like, well, I miss it. I came in late. I want to catch the start of the show. You can watch everything on YouTube. Shows posted right at 12 o'clock. Also, listen to the shows every single day on your favorite podcast platforms. Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. And, of course, find everything up at pucksports.com. When you're there at pucksports.com, sign up to be a Puck Posse member. $5 a month is all it costs you to get support all the live content we do, plus all the added bonus shows that we do every single week. Also, if you want to get into Puck the Picker Majors pool, now you're really behind the eight ball because you've missed the Masters and the PGA Championship. But if you want to sneak in and compete for the U.S. Open next week, go to pucksports.com. Sign up for the Puck the Picker Majors pool. We are broadcasting from the Limback Lumber Studios. You know this. Contractors, they got free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects. Largest stock moldings in the Northwest. Old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Give Limback Lumber a call. 206-782-3487. Visit them online at limbacklumber.com. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Bend, Oregon. He's in the virtual background studios. It is the go-to guy, Jim Moore, who's brought to you by...
Hey, Puck, it's good to be back. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm brought to you by A Clean Streak, cleanstreak.com, professional window and exterior cleaning service out of Oak Harbor, Washington. What have you played that golf course up there? It's beautiful, Puck.
Oak Harbor Golf Course, I have not. No, I have not.
It's awesome. You got to try that sometime. But Brian Turner and his crew at A Clean Streak, they're proudly serving Island and Skagit counties for more than 10 years. They'll do everything for you. They'll clean your roof. They'll unclog your gutters. They'll pressure wash your driveway. How about this? Get your windows cleaned. You can see all the sun coming in. There's a lot of streaks. So have them come out and do that for you. For a free estimate, call 360-395-5748 or visit acleanstreak.com. And it's June now, so my May offer of $50 for someone to hire Brian Turner and his crew, no longer good. Null and void.
Oh,
Adios,
null and
amigo.
void.
Yeah.
No one took you up on it.
I tried.
No one took you up on it, huh?
No one took me up on it, which is probably, well, it's not a good thing, but I didn't have anything in my Venmo. So I probably would have had a hard time paying people. Anyway,
so you're advocating to pay people, but you didn't have any money to actually pay them.
Yeah, I would have had to
sound like you.
Well, I would have had to scramble. I would have been good for it, but it might have been a little bit of a scramble. Yeah. So
Robert says Oak Harbor Golf Course can be one of the loudest rounds of golf you ever play. What is it, Robert? What do you mean by that? What do you mean loudest rounds? Because of the military bases? We're at the Navy station there. Is that why?
That could be.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe they're playing rock and roll music there at the country club.
Maybe it gets a little. Well, is it a country club? Is it private or is it public?
Yeah, I think it's private.
Well, then how would I play it?
Well, shit, I don't know, man. You know people.
Yeah, I don't know anybody in Oak Harbor. The only person I've ever known from Oak Harbor is Marshall Lobelstall.
Well, yeah, he was a good quarterback. Okay, give me Marshall Lobelstall's number.
He was decent.
What was his number?
What number did he wear?
Yeah.
11?
Come on, what kind of coug are you?
I don't know what number he wore.
8.
Well, I mean, no disrespect to Marshall, but I mean, he was.
Where does he rank in all-time Cougar quarterbacks?
I'm not sure. That was a dark period of time for Cougar football.
Yeah, ahead of Steve Birnbaum though.
Yeah.
Was he? On. Steve Birnbaum. I mean, God bless him, left-handed and everything, but
What did you always bring this up? What you have something against Steve Birnbaum?
God, he was terrible. The other guy that was terrible, that if he'd just been halfway decent, is Chad Davis. I always think about him.
Hey, but you know what?
We could have won a national championship if Bledsoe had been the quarterback.
I agree with you for Chad Davis, but man, great defense. But they won 9 games with him. Was it 8 or 9 games? I mean,
I know. I'm just saying though, that was with a below average quarterback.
A below average quarterback. I saw a rumor today. I don't know if this is true because I don't believe anything now on Twitter. And I mean, none of it's true. There's a rumor out there that Texas State is now the 8th member?
Oh,
have you seen this?
Really?
Wow.
God, I hope not. I don't.
Yeah,
you want Texas State?
I do not. I do not want Texas State. But I think this could just be a made-up rumor that I just fell into it and I'm making stuff up. But at least they're on Twitter. There was something out there that Texas State is going to be the 8th member. Yeah, I'm with you. No.
Well, maybe we change our minds after going to wherever Texas State is and finding out that it's a great road trip. But I mean, this reconstituted Pac-12, we really got to work hard to be into it anyway.
Yeah.
Not so much for basketball, but for football. And if you add Texas State to that, I mean, I would just throw everything out there for UNLV. Come on.
Hey, notable alumni from Texas State, President Lyndon B. Johnson.
LBJ.
And then a country music star, George Strait.
Okay.
Yeah, how about that?
All right.
How about George Strait?
He's featured in Blake Nelson's song Texas. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but you did because you know.
That's where all them X's go, Puck.
down to Texas.
Yeah.
San Marcos, Texas.
I think San Marcos is a nice town. Is it on the water?
Does not appear to be on the water, Jim. No.
Okay. All right.
But next to San Marcos is, I'm looking at Google Maps, Flying Armadillo Disc Golf Club. I'm in.
Yeah, I am too. I think we could have a good time in San Marcos if Texas State joins the Pac-12.
I'm sure we could. Looking at the map, south of Austin, Texas. Yeah. And then due west is Canyon Lake. All right, sure.
God, look at what it's come to.
I know, it's pathetic.
Instead of a road trip to Tucson or Phoenix, let's go to San Marcos and play Texas State. God.
It was weird. I don't know about you and our audience, and there was plenty to talk about here today. We're going to Cole Young's debut. Oh, I got something. There's a hate party for the Oklahoma City Thunder I want to promote. Adam Jude's going to stop on by. Here's the best thing about the Adam Jude. I told you this before the show, and I don't care. We're open book. We'll tell everyone. So I recorded Jude just about 30 minutes ago because he was on a conference call for the Randy Johnson retirement announcement that they just came out with. All right. But he has the worst internet in the world, and it's still uploading. So I'm going to have to sit here and try and edit this stupid interview.
No, I know. And you told me
while we're doing it.
Yeah, you told me that you were going to be dancing around. And I said to you, well, you dance around anyway.
I know.
So, and you want me to talk more than usual?
Well, I mean, if you can.
Like what? Like, what do you want me to say? Like, how are they going to do that with a big unit? Ichiro and big unit 51, what are they doing?
Well, Ichiro is having his 51 this year.
Okay.
Johnson's next year. They're just gonna have 2 number 51s. I don't know. I'm sure there's got to be other teams that have 2 numbers, isn't there? There must be.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no to that. I think that's weird.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to say no. I'm not going to bet on it because I think you're probably right. You're usually on the right side of these bets I make with you.
I usually am not. No, it's not true.
Okay. In hindsight, when Randy left, should they have made sure that no one wore his number?
Well, but he left. Remember, that was a messy divorce. That was messy.
We all thought he had a bad back.
Well, they did. They thought he had a bad back. Then the people thought that he quit on the team, and then he didn't have a bad back.
I thought he quit on the team at the time. I thought he was fed up with the Mariners.
I don't think he quit, but I think he had checked out. Is that a nicer way of saying he quit?
Yeah,
I don't ever want to
when you get fired and you say he was laid off.
I don't ever want to look at Randy Johnson and be like, you're a quitter. I don't know. I can't see his competitive DNA quitting, but I think he checked out on the organization. I think he was fed up with the organization. I think like Lou Piniella was fed up with them. Like a lot of these guys.
Checked out is a version of quitting, though.
But it's a nicer version.
It's very much so.
It's a nicer
I'll give
version.
you that.
But remember, he goes right to Houston and is just phenomenal. Like I'm going to pull up his numbers. It was ridiculous what he did.
Well, and then how many Cy Youngs did he win after he left the Mariners? Was it 2?
No, 3.
Was it 3?
I believe so. He has 4 total. 1 here, right? And then 3 elsewhere. 5 times. He won 5 Cy Youngs. Good Lord. And I think 4 were with when he left here, when he left Seattle, when Chuck Arnold said he had a bad back.
And won a World Series with Arizona.
He did win a World Series. Yes, you are correct. When he got traded to Houston, Jim.
Who'd we get for him?
It was John Halama, Freddie Garcia, and was there one more? Why we're missing somebody else? Carlos Guillen. Carlos Guillen, right? Hold on. I'm on Baseball Reference. I did not. That's off the top of my head. Hold on. Let me make sure that's correct. Okay. July 31st, 1998. Randy Johnson traded to Houston for Freddie Garcia, Carlos Guillen, and John Halama. Yes. In hindsight, not a bad deal. I mean, it worked out.
Freddie was sure good for a while.
Carlos Guillen was.
Yeah.
John Halama
was serviceable lefty.
Yeah. I mean, he
was okay.
I'd rather have Randy Johnson, but I mean,
yeah. So, but what are you going to do? Randy didn't want to be here anymore.
If he's out, you had to do the best that you wanted to do. So when he got traded, let me look at this up. So in Seattle, that first half of the year, he had made 23 starts. He was 9-10 with a 4.33 ERA. He goes to Houston, makes 11 starts. He's 10-1 with a 1.28 ERA.
Yeah. Well, that basically, you just have to read those stats on someone who had checked out and someone who checked back in again once he left here.
See, and that's the thing. He checked back in. He just checked out and he came right back in. So now I want to do some research. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not going to do it on the fly, but I want to know if there's other teams out there who've got 2 number 51s retired. So back to your original question, should they not have given it out? Yeah, no, they shouldn't have.
Well, I assume Ichiro must have been 51 in Japan.
I'm sure he was, but yeah, I think the organization at the time should have said, "Hey, can we get you another number?" But maybe it was like, "Hey, man, if I don't get that, I'm not coming." But they were in a bad place. I don't think Randy and
the organization. Don't you think Ichiro's the kind of guy though that would have deferred and said, "Okay, that's cool. I'll take 52," or something like that?
I have no idea. It was good that at least this summer, when he gave his press conference earlier this year, he acknowledged the pressure of wearing 51, that he wanted to honor it, that he knew how important it was to the organization. I thought that was cool.
Okay. Well, when are you going to get back to me on your research about other teams?
I don't know. After you keep talking, I have to edit the Adam Jude ready to get played at 11.
You know what I like?
I'm not going to do the research. I want somebody else to do it for me.
Here, I'm going to try and talk for like 30 seconds so you can do whatever you need to do there. Here's what I like hearing about Adam Jude being on the podcast today at pucksports.com. Wow. And you can find pucksports.com anywhere you get your podcasts and sign up for Puck's Posse and all that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait, you already said all that.
Yeah.
No, I like the fact that Adam Jude's going to be on the show because he's really good at covering the Mariners. He's Ryan Divish light, basically, Adam Jude. Because he's 1A, Divish is 1A and he's 1B. So you got Jude coming on in Divish's place today, and it's a good time to have him on because
that's not on Divish's place. Thanks for paying attention to the show. Divish is on Wednesdays, so this is not in his place. He's just
it's kind of interesting how you force people to pay to hear Divish even though he's not covering the team anymore, and
but if people like
how the Havre Tiger Cats are doing.
It's the North Stars. And by the way, the Havre North Stars, I believe, had a big win. Hold on, I follow them on Game Change. I'm a family member. They had a bounce back win against the Great Falls Chargers.
Oh,
on
okay.
Friday, 5-3. By the way, 5-3 win for the Havre North Stars.
And do you introduce him as Ryan Divish, Mariners outsider now, since he can't
MLB
give us
insider.
he can't give us any inside information anymore
Yes,
because he's in Havre, Montana. Huh?
He knows more about the team than anyone.
Yeah.
MLB insider / head coach of the Havre North Stars / Valley Furniture salesman.
How did he end up getting that furniture gig? Does he have a buddy there?
No, he applied. He walked around to every little storefront in Havre because he needed more money. He said, and handed out a resume, and that was it.
You know what? I'd buy a couch from Divish.
Would you? You think he's a good salesman?
Yes.
Do you?
I think he'd be the kind of salesman I would relate to because he'd be, I'd look at a couch and I'd say, hey, Ryan, I really like this couch. And he'd say, yeah, that would be a good buy for you, Jim. Or if he thought the couch wasn't very good, he'd say, I can see why you like that one, but this one over here is probably a better bang for your buck and it's a little more comfortable. Why don't you try this one out? Yeah. I don't think he'd bullshit you at all.
Yeah. I don't think he'd bullshit you, but I mean.
And by the way, you're smart on not taking that bet that I proposed with Divish.
Which is the bet?
That he would have proposed by the time he comes back in early August.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I know. Well, I mean,
we're led to believe by just him going to Montana and then confirming as much that he's more than likely to do that than not.
I would assume he's going to propose to her. I think that was probably right. That was a big deal. The bet should be, will he come back? I don't know. Be honest with you, I don't know.
It probably depends on how he's doing financially, because I know he probably doesn't want to come back, but I don't know. Those baseball juices really burn hot in guys that cover baseball.
Well, you get married, life changes, and maybe you don't want to be on the road all the time.
Oh God, what is he, 50? Is he 50?
I think he's turning 50 later this year, and I mean, my God, he's killing it at the Valley Furniture store.
Yeah.
Those
are some hard miles on that 50-year-old Ryan Divish, too, I think.
Some smart miles, just like you. Smart miles on it.
Smart miles, hard miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing I like about Adam Jude being on the show today is that he's having internet problems. And whenever anybody else has internet problems, because it always seems like you single me out as the only doofus that doesn't know what I'm doing with the internet.
Well, first of all, I have no idea. I don't know. We recorded it and it's saying it's uploaded, but it's still like, here's the one platform that I use, right? That says like all the videos uploaded, the audio, and then it transcribes the interview for you, which I don't need. I don't need the transcription of it, but that's holding up the video from being done. And here's the thing that I despise the most about technology. You ready for it? I know you don't like it either. No one does. Is when the little circle just keeps going round and round and round.
Well,
that little circle, that
never good news.
That little circle.
It's never good news.
So we may or may not have Adam Jude at the top of the hour. I have no idea.
God, what a disappointment. I mean, I tuned into pucksports.com wherever I get my podcasts, and I expected Adam Jude today.
Well, and you know what? I hope you get Adam Jude. But I can't make it work faster. I don't know.
Is he the best looking beat writer in Seattle?
Is he the best looking beat reporter in Seattle? Well, I've got to go through all the beat reporters. I don't normally do this, but let's see. I would probably say, yeah.
Doesn't that always come up with Adam Jude? Like, he does a good job, but it's always, that he's like,
that he's good,
really
that he's
good
pretty.
looking.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a pretty man. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I think
who do we have to choose from? I mean, Condota.
I think he knocks off Condota.
Yeah. At least, I mean, Adam combs his hair.
Mm-hmm.
So he does do that.
Doesn't always wear a hoodie.
Yeah.
What else?
God, we love Bob though, don't we?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think who else he knocks off. I can't think of anybody else. All right. I don't know what
Greg Bell.
Oh, Bell's up there. Yeah. Give a nod to
good looking guy.
Give a nod to old Greg Bell. What did you? Where were you at? Did you watch the Cole Young debut?
I watched highlights of the Cole Young debut, and I got to tell you, Puck, when I came home My wife and kids were through the roof, and they couldn't wait to tell me what had happened. They were so excited about it, and rightfully so. What a debut for Cole Young.
So that was they were watching it. You were not.
No, I was on concert duty.
Oh, what was the concert? Where were you working? What concert
who was it? I worked 4 nights in a row. Last night it was Leon Bridges.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What
Leon
was it
Bridges.
Saturday?
Saturday was the Black Keys.
Oh, how were the Black Keys?
Black Keys were great. Leon Bridges was great. We had 7,500 people for both shows. And you know what that means? There was like 4 lines, and I'm in one of the lines, and I probably said, hello, good evening, enjoy the show, probably 1,500 times.
Anybody trying to bring in a concealed weapon that you said, go ahead, sir?
No, but last night they put me on bag check. Usually I'm the guy saying, hey, you got a green light, you can go in. You got a red light, you got to go to bag check.
Do you have the little stick that you put in their bags to look around?
No, I fish around in there.
With your hands?
They said, Jim, you got a bag check tonight. And I looked at Patrick, the guy who said that to me, and I go, I don't like the bag check, and I suck at it. And he goes, yeah, but we need you to do it tonight. And so
how can
I was going through women's purses all night long.
Don't you have the little stick? Aren't you supposed to have the little stick that digs around in there?
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Here's the good news. The good news. I found 2 knives.
2 knives? Like
2 knives.
What kind of knives? Like switchblade? What do we got?
No, they were just kind of, I don't know.
Pocket knives or like a hunting knife?
Pocket knives. And generally speaking, these people carry their knives with them all the time. And so
it's bend. I mean, my God, it's you see any loose behavior. Now they're going to knife somebody. You're not driving a Sprinter van? Knife them.
God, I was so proud of myself.
You don't have a Labrador? Cut his throat.
I was so proud of myself when I found the 2 knives.
He's not drinking a beer at the brewery. He's having a seltzer. Go up from behind and jab him right in the kidneys.
You're not a true Bendite.
You're not a true Bend person who freaking drinks a seltzer at a brewery, you lunatic.
No, I was all excited when I found the knives, and they either have to surrender the knife and never get it back again or take it back to their car.
And so what they do?
They took it back to their cars.
Yeah, because they're going to go to that brewery tonight and slice somebody up because they're not wearing Patagonia. I mean, think about the death rate there where people who go to a brewery and don't wear Patagonia, you get cut up.
God, those coats are overpriced. I have one of them. And then a vial of cocaine last night.
Wow. Yeah. There we go.
A vial of cocaine.
And did we take that home with us?
I kept that. No, I didn't.
You did.
There's a little black box where you put the no stuff into.
But
I will confess to you here at pucksports.com, and this is something that could probably get me fired. And the other thing is I can't tell which is like the vape pens or whatever the fuck they call those things.
Hey, remember, we're not swearing. Yeah.
Okay, so I can't tell the difference between a regular vape, nicotine smoking device and then the ones that are, have marijuana.
Correct.
So last night it was pretty funny. A guy came up to me and I looked at it and it had oil in there, and I assumed that it's that yellow oil, that it's probably marijuana, whatever. And so I said to the guy, I go, is this nicotine or marijuana? And then he goes, well, it's it's nicotine. And I looked at him, and I know what he was thinking. He was probably thinking, shit, man, this old dude doesn't know the new devices that we use. He's back from the bong days and rolling joints and all that.
Yeah. Smoking out of an apple.
You know what I did? I thought, I knew what he was thinking. And I thought, you're right, I'm old, but I do know that that's probably marijuana. And you know what, sir? I'm going to let you take that in anyway.
Good for you.
Even though we're not supposed to.
He's got a concert, Jim. He's going to a concert. It is the rite of passage to have marijuana.
You can't smoke anything at the concert.
Oh, but people are.
You know what they had me do one night? They said, hey, Jim, we need you to go around to all the Santa cans and make sure people aren't smoking in the Santa cans. Like, what am I going to do? Like rap on the door when I smell pot coming out and go, excuse me, sir, excuse me. That's not allowed here at the Hayden Homes Amphitheater. No.
Pot, they're going to be like, excuse me, what? What did you say? What?
Does anybody call it pot anymore?
Smoking weed. No,
okay, weed.
I know, I'm just joking.
Okay. All right.
Oh, so you're telling me that no one in the audience is smoking marijuana?
I know.
I mean, come on. Just look up in the sky to see the cloud of smoke above the concert goers.
And then the other thing that I kind of got scolded for last night is that I let some people in with oversized blankets. There's a certain size that you can have because I guess they spread it out on the grass and take up too much room with it. Puck, it was going to be 40 degrees last night. And I looked at these people with blankets. I said to this one guy, I go, look, man, I think that's a little bigger than what's allowed, but it's going to be cold as hell tonight. See if you can get in with it. And then the next person stopped him from going in.
What if they are a bigger person and they need the blanket just to cover themselves up? What do you say to them? I mean, that's kind of fat shaming, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be. It could be. It's kind of interesting, though, when some of the women come through, and there were a lot of pretty girls last night.
Yes, there were.
Bridges concert. A lot of younger women coming through, and you have to say, can you empty your pockets? Can I look through your purse and all this stuff?
Sir, ma'am, I'm gonna have to take you over here to pat you down.
This one lady looked at me and she goes, "You want me to take this off?" And I was like, "Yes, please."
Yes, please. Yeah. What would you like to do?
And because the snaps on the denim jackets can trigger the metal detector.
Oh, so you're like.
Something for concert goers to know. Like some people like those Altoid mints. A lot of people carry those Altoid mints around.
Sure.
Those little cans of Altoids cause you to be stopped at the metal detector, and we have to look through your bags.
There's Altoids actually in those?
Bring them. Huh?
You think there's Altoids actually in them?
We have to open them up. And the other thing that triggers them for the next concert you go to, if you have an eyeglasses case, that's one of the newer ones. There's metal in there, and those trigger the devices too.
I think one time on the show we need to hear from maybe the boss who puts you in charge. I'd love to hear from this person, wouldn't you?
I'm not a fan of our boss right now, to be honest with you.
Okay, well,
not a fan of his at all. It's not like he's going to be watching.
Why are you not a fan? Please go.
Okay, he's one of these guys that it has phony enthusiasm. Like he's always overly excited to see you, even though you know that he's doing that to everyone. And it's just kind of this, it's not genuine and sincere. It's just all bullshit coming out of his mouth. Hugging you and, hey, great to see you. And you're like, shit, man, I hardly know you. I don't know.
I think that's unfair for the boss. How do you, maybe
he treated my wife unfairly. Okay. That's part of it too. Okay. That's a big part of it. And he's one of these guys like, hey, I'm your best friend. And then behind the scenes, he's a different person. If I get fired, I don't give a shit, man. I'm trying to get a golf course job anyway. And they probably don't want me searching in people's bags anymore either, because, I'm letting people in with edibles. And, you can't let people in with edibles. I saw, some edibles last night. I'm going, well, shit, I take them too. Go ahead, have fun.
But you know what? You're doing the right thing. But I think by admitting this right now, if it just does ever get back to the boss, you're probably done. But now you're not big enough for it to get back down here to Bend. I don't fear that was an unfair shot. I mean, I know, but you told me to talk more, and so that was an opportunity for me. What, you want me to choose different words? No, I would just continue to say, hey, you're just not a big deal here anymore. We have a reach and bend. Yeah, we have a reach and bend now. So you alluded to this last week that you didn't have permission to talk about it. So are we? Yeah, I still talk about what happened. I'm still working on that. You're not going to believe it. It's okay. You won't believe it, but I'll get to it either Wednesday or Friday. I think I can get my wife's permission. Wednesday or Friday. Yeah, if I'm here Friday. Is there a chance you aren't here Friday? No, I just said that for your benefit. I thought you might laugh or come back at me like, oh, well, yeah, that's typical because, Brian Turner's not getting his money's worth. You come. Brian Turner's getting he can't believe how much money he's getting for this thing. Yeah. It's unbelievable. I'll bet. Okay. But I would encourage people to come down to Bend and just hang out and go to one of the concerts. It's a great venue. It's really a lot of fun. It is. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to come down there, but the concert I want to see is not in Bend. It's in Redmond, but it's in late July. So we'll see. Okay. Who is it? Tyler Childress. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He had 2 shows in Bend last year,
And Puck, you know, the river's right there next to the amphitheater.
Yeah, I'm aware of where it's at.
Oh, fuck you. Okay. All right. Take better shots than that. Okay.
I'm aware. Hey, did you know where the theater is?
Okay, well, play along with me. Okay, I know that you're aware of it, but there might be listeners who aren't. You know, hey, that's pretty cool. There's a river that goes right by the amphitheater. I didn't know that, Jim. Thank you.
What's it called? Well, what's the river called? Hey, Jim, what's the river called?
It's called the Deschutes.
Oh, like the brewery.
Yes, that's right. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up, Tyler Childers last year, there's always paddle boarders and people floating around out there during the concerts. But during his concerts, you could have literally walked across the Deschutes River from paddleboard to paddleboard to paddleboard. It was that crowded out there without touching water.
A lot of paddle boards, huh?
Yeah. I like hearing that you might come down to Redmond for that, though. We're going to go see Three Dog Night in Redmond.
Yeah, so I think so. But it's not really for me, although I like him. He's good. He's real good. This is for the teenage daughter. She's in love with this guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
So I found out that he was playing there, so I may come on down.
Redmond's 14 miles closer to Ballard than Bend.
14 miles closer. Wait, say that again?
It's 14 miles closer to Ballard than it is to Bend.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
a shorter trip.
Yeah, it would be very much so. So you didn't see, back to Cole Young. I mean, we got sidetracked on this one.
Yeah.
We got sidetracked.
I heard the pregame interview with Gary Hill and Rick Riz.
Yeah.
Talking to Cole Young. They're both really good. And Gary Hill is going to be the guy when Riz retires. He's terrific.
So
he's absolutely terrific. And they did a great job interviewing Cole Young. And it was interesting to hear his story about growing up in Pittsburgh and how he talks to his dad every single day, pretty much. When things are going good, he doesn't talk to him as much as he does when things are going bad, because his dad's like his swing coach. And it was kind of cool hearing about that with, the dad-son relationship and everything else, and how he's improved his defense. And of course, one of the interviews that you always have to say good things about Perry Hill. And so that was said too.
For audience, Jim does not like Perry Hill. He thinks Perry Hill's over.
I like Perry Hill. The guy's my age and he's still out there coaching. But
you think he's overrated?
We act like he's God's gift to infield coaches. Are the other infield coaches around the league are going like, "What the hell, man? Am I chopped liver?"
He's pretty good infield coach, though, right? Or no?
Huh? Yeah,
pretty good infield. He's done a pretty good job.
He's done a great job.
Yeah, he's done a really good job. So you did. So you saw the highlights. In the highlights of his first hit, which was it the 7th inning that he got it? 9th inning, 7th inning, 9th inning.
I think so. It was like a line shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, good little hit, right field. Did you see his reaction? Did you see him on first base?
He was smiling.
Oh, it's just, well, you didn't see it. You're just saying, of course he's smiling.
I saw your text to Travis.
Oh, there you go. His react. That's right. His reaction to it was just, it's everything you love about sports, and especially for those guys, and that sport in particular, because there's no other sport that has a moment like baseball. Like baseball does a better job than any of the other sports of making your debut, of being called up. You're right. The NFL doesn't have a minor league that you come in halfway through the season and go play at free safety. And basketball doesn't have that as well. You're a rookie, you get drafted, and you're playing game one. And baseball is unique in that way. And, for him to get up there with the unbelievable month he had and, to get a hit, fairly soon of his first game. And the reaction that he had was just like, God, man, I've been dreaming of this moment since I was 10. And now here it is. It just was really, really cool scene there at first base.
Well, yeah. And the whole thing, and we had talked about it last Friday, and I think Adam Jude had written about it, and other people were talking about it too. And, it was time for Cole Young to come up. And so it was nice to see him come through in his first game. And it was also cool to see when he got pulled from the Tacoma game in the 4th inning the night before, and the manager talking to him. I saw that video of, just, hey, Cole, just keep doing what you're doing. But tomorrow you're going to be doing it in Seattle, that kind of thing.
If people haven't seen it, it's a video that they shot in Tacoma. Multiple cameras, kind of behind the scenes look. They had the manager mic'd up for when he told Cole Young that he was going up to Seattle. It's on Twitter. It's on the Mariners account, so you can go find it. He hugs every teammate in the dugout. He is emotional. Clearly it's just a thrill of a lifetime, and good for him. He earned it. He earned it. He earned
a
every
couple
opportunity.
nights ago, he had a 5-hit game, didn't he? I mean, he's just been tearing it up. So, and it's just crazy to think that he's 21 years old. I mean, for major
youngest guy in the PCL.
Yeah. So good for him. And boy, just take over second base. Just take it over. I was talking to my kids the other day about it. Like, imagine being Ryan Bliss right now, because Ryan Bliss finally gets his shot.
Oh, yeah.
And he's starting second baseman, and then to have that injury, and we may never see Ryan Bliss in a Mariners uniform again.
Yeah, and it's the unfortunate thing. But honestly, though, I mean, Ryan Bliss is smart enough and understands that. I mean, it's a competition, but Ryan Bliss knew that in all likelihood when he made the team, he was holding down he was just keeping it warm. It was a matter of time before Cole.
I don't think Ryan Bliss thought that.
Ryan
Bliss probably thought, you know what? I'm going to tear it up here as the starting second baseman, and I'm going to hold off Cole Young. Cole Young might be really good, but I am too.
Fair enough. But okay, he would acknowledge of the uphill battle that he had to hold off that guy that was drafted as high as he was, and the buzz about him and the organizational rankings and all that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. I will give you that. And he could be the starting shortstop in years to come too.
Could be.
And then move JP over to second if you want.
I am going to revisit something because I do believe this is from Joel. That's the 5th or 6th time you keep sniffing and wiping your nose. And yet you admitted that over this weekend or yesterday, you took a vial of cocaine from someone's purse. And now since you've said that, you have been going to your nose about every minute.
Well,
now,
I'm not going to apologize.
Yeah.
I'm not going to apologize to you, but I'm going to apologize to Joel. Number one, I didn't realize I was doing that. And number two, I came down with a cold last night, and I woke up with it this morning. And so that's basically what it is. And I'll say this about your reference to cocaine and you trying to be funny, like, oh God, some coincidence you find funny. A vial of cocaine.
It's odd that you found a vial of cocaine of someone's purse.
Yeah.
And then you've been just wiping your nose like the pitcher from the major league wiping snot on the ball.
Okay, listen, when I was at Redmond Junior High, they showed us these movies about drugs and how you start out, with marijuana, and then it turns into cocaine, and then
drug.
The next thing you know, you're shooting up heroin.
Yeah,
that really stuck with me. And so when I was in Pullman, I will admit to smoking just regular old marijuana, Thai stick, hash. I mean, I tried it all in that department, but I have never done cocaine, and I never will. And there are people out there that are going probably like, oh shit, Jim, you should, man. It's pretty fun, but nah, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. So I saw it, and I thought about giving it to somebody who was into it, but I'm not.
What would you have done? Like when other people were walking into the Hayden homes? Hey, hello. How are you guys? Exciting concert. Hey, by the way, you into cocaine? Because I got a vial for you. How do you? I mean, how would you know?
I was talking about fellow employees, maybe.
Oh, fellow employees. Hey, hey, Bill, you want to hit up the porta potty here in a little bit?
Well, like I don't really know what happened to that little vial of cocaine that was in my hands for a few seconds last night. I put it in the black box, and I'm not sure what happened to it after that.
I'm going to tell you what happened to it. Somebody that works there took that home and had a hell of a night on the Deschutes River.
God, it wasn't very much, though. I don't know much about cocaine. I've been around it. I've been offered it. And I remember playing two-handed pinochle with one of my friends once, and he was doing it. Two-handed pinochle, and he was drawing lines. Do you draw lines? Is that what you do? And he was like, hey, Jimmy here. And he handed me a rolled-up dollar bill or whatever. And I was like,
hard pass. I'm playing pinochle, bud.
I know. It was before noon.
Well, it's a normal time. Don't screw up my pinochle, you son of a.
You know what? I'm proud of that. I'm really proud of that. And I don't mind shouting from the mountaintops. I've never tried cocaine, and I never will.
Jim, we've got controversy in the state of Washington. Okay, controversy.
Oh, over that baseball game?
Over the baseball game.
Okay, go ahead and lay it out for everybody, and then I'll tell you what I think is funny.
Okay, so we are all huddled around. Well, I'll get to it. The WIAA State Baseball Championships were this weekend. Congratulations to Ballard. They fought hard. They went down those swinging. They lost a Friday afternoon. We had a watch party at Mike's Chili Parlor. We got the NFHS network streamed up on one of the TVs, sitting there watching it, in their little fancy Game Changer one camera that's just above the dugout, basically, or the backstop, and some high school kid calling the game. I mean, it was
better than nothing, man.
Better than nothing. It was great. It was great, and they ended up losing 4-3. It was a tough one. They played great. They just didn't. They had one bad inning, and that was it. And that's what cost. Anyways, but hey, all right, they lose.
Did they pitch to that kid?
Oh yeah, they pitched to him.
How'd he do?
I don't think he.
What's his name? Xavier Nyans.
Yeah, Xavier Nyans. I don't think he got I think he got one hit. The kid from Bella had a better game. The Madonna guy. He had 2 hits, 2 doubles. So anyway, so they all right, they lost, disappointed, but they said, hey, don't worry about it. We got tomorrow. We'll play for 3rd place. We'll still be able to finish 3rd place in the state. Well, anyways, so they're playing. I don't know this stadium at all in Yakima, but I had buddies there, and they were like, it's kind of a rinky-dink little stadium. It's not the best stadium in the world, but okay, whatever. The 4A game, because they're playing all the games there. So the Puyallup and Lake Washington game is into the wee hours of the night. Lake Washington, the Kangaroos, are just slapping around the Vikings of Puyallup, 8-0, and their top pitcher, that Mason Pike kid, is going to Oregon State, who will likely be, or has a chance to be, a first-round pick in the MLB draft this summer. The Puyallup coaches start complaining about the lights. The lights don't work properly, and thus it's hard to see. We need to stop the game immediately. I believe in the accounts that I read from John Manley of the Tacoma News Tribune. Sounds like Lake Washington coach said, yeah, it was a problem, but I also think we could have worked through it. We could have played through it. You'd expect him to probably say that at 8-0. Then maybe the Puyallup coaches say, no, we need to cancel. Anyways, long story short, they pause the game, and they say, we're gonna pause the game. We're gonna pick it up tomorrow at 10 a.m. But the problem with doing that, by pausing the game, which to me is the worst thing they could, the last thing that they should have done. You can't pause the game when a team's winning 8-0, and then we're going to restart it tomorrow. And because then it brings up all the other rules. Could you have allowed the other pitchers, could the starters still have maintained, could they have come back and played and all that kind of stuff? But by doing that and resuming the game the next morning, they canceled the consolation games. So the 3A and 4A consolation games canceled, which is just awful. I mean, awful. You got parents over there and kids over there, seniors who are expecting to play their final high school baseball game, prepared for it, don't want to go out, on a losing note, would like to earn and actually win a 3rd place trophy. And they're told, no, sorry, we have to cancel it. Why? Now, I'll say this. I know that because a lot of people are coming down hard on the WIAA, and I understand. I mean, they're coming down hard on them. I work with those guys. I know those guys. I know Mick. I've known Mick forever. I've heard this comment a lot. You don't care about the kids. I don't think that could be the furthest thing from the truth. That organization, the people that work there, care very deeply about the kids. They do. But that doesn't excuse for what happened. I think they made a mistake. I think the number one mistake, based on talking to like John Manley in the News Tribune and others, is actually just playing the game there. Sounds like it just wasn't equipped to handle all of those games, and it wasn't equipped to handle a night game. I guess there had been previous issues there at night, and I think for the organization to play games there, knowing they had to play at night, that's where they made the mistake. And it brings up a broader topic here, is that I think football has done it so good. They finally have got it right by playing at Husky Stadium. Like, it's so good. I've been there the last 2 years. It's such a fun environment there. It's so great. Kids love it. Parents love it. It's just an awesome environment to play in that stadium where a lot of those kids are watching the Huskies play on Saturday. It's great. Why can they not in the baseball championships? I don't know if T-Mobile's available or not, but why can they not play at Cheney Stadium? Why can they not play in Spokane at their stadium?
Or Everett?
Or Everett? You're telling me they can't play at Funko Field in Everett? Now, if you're like, well, we want to be in Eastern Washington because of the weather. There are a million places over there. Here's the other thing. Why can't you play in Pullman? Play there at WSU. Play at Huskies. Play at Gonzaga. Play at Husky Stadium. There's so many great environments you can play in instead of this Yakima Park that, looked like it was falling apart. So,
well, there should have been something beforehand where people were warning them about the light situation.
Apparently there was. Apparently they, according to those, they knew about it and still went ahead with it. And my guess is that it was cost effective because last year, I think they played in Pasco at the Geisa Stadium and they said it was fine. I don't know. It's a poor situation for the kids. I just feel awful for the families and the kids that did not get to play one final game.
Well, I can see your point there. I think they can get over that since they were consolation games. But the thing that stuck out the most to me was Puyallup was down 8-0, and they were the ones who lodged their concerns. And it just, I guarantee if Puyallup was ahead 8-0, they would have played in the pitch dark the rest of the way.
Of course they would have. There's no, of course. That's why I said earlier for Lake Washington, I think that they were willing to we're good. Well, of course you're willing. Of course you're good.
I'll bet that coach at Puyallup, whoever he is, and I'm sure he's a fine coach and probably a respectable old man or young man. Great. I'll bet you when he first lodged his complaint, he was probably talking to his assistant coaches saying, hey, you know what? If I complain about the lights, maybe they will not only suspend the game, but start it over since it was deemed. I don't know what time it started. It must have started in the daylight, though, like at 7 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
But, pick up the game when it was just 4-0, when the lights were bad or when it got dark. Or I don't know. It just struck me as being lame from the Puyallup perspective.
Well, again, not actually being there to see what it really looked like. I don't want to pile on too much because I don't maybe it was.
Well, you always pop off on everything, so go ahead.
Well, I don't know how bad it was there. Maybe it was really, really bad and you actually couldn't see. I do acknowledge, though, if the shoe were on the other foot, he's not lodging a complaint to have the game stopped and played tomorrow. It just there's no way, absolutely no way.
Yeah.
Zero.
Gee, my batter got hit in the helmet, but we won 8-0.
So, but congratulations to Lake Washington. Congratulations to Mountain Vernon, who ended up winning the next day, knocking off Kennewick in the 3A championship. So,
that's just cool. When my kids played in the state playoffs, I'll never forget it. They won their first game and lost their second, didn't get to the final round, but it's a thrill.
Yeah. Speaking, I brought it up earlier, Mike's Chili Parlor. That's where we had the watch party on Friday. We've got another watch party coming up on Thursday. Okay. Thursday at Mike's Chili Parlor. Maybe you can drive up for it. I doubt you will. But ladies and gentlemen, it's the Ballard's Original Sports Bar. Mike's Chili Parlor is having basically it's a watch party to hate on Oklahoma City on Thursday. Hate night. OKC Hate night. Thursday, 5:30 at the Chili. Mike's Chili Parlor, located in historic Ballard, right by the Ballard Bridge. I'll tell you right now, there's some construction going on the Ballard Bridge, which would surprise a lot of people, and the Leary Bridge. I would just plan accordingly.
What if the game starts at 5?
Get there.
Probably starts at 5. Yeah,
2.
It doesn't matter where you live. You better leave by 3.
If I'll just tell you, someone who
you can live in Magnolia, you better leave by 3 if you're trying to get to Mike's.
For someone who lives here, that lives probably about 1.5 miles away from that place, at times I can walk down there faster.
That's so surprising to hear that from a Ballard resident. Just so, but Puck, you got to be honest. You have to be honest. It's not going to happen this year.
Oh, it doesn't look. Did you see how
they are so good? They're so much better than Indiana.
But did you see how much they're favored by?
It's like the largest one since, I don't know, 20 years or whatever.
No, largest Golden State, I think. They're minus 750.
Yeah.
They're going to wipe the floor. No, Indiana's going to stand a chance.
Yeah.
They'll stand a chance.
You don't think they have a shot at all?
No.
Not to win a home game?
I mean, maybe win a home game, but they're not going to. This is going to be a bloodbath.
So do you think when they do win it that they'll say this is their first championship since 1979?
I don't think they will. I don't think the organization will. I think ESPN will because they're dumb.
Yeah, they were in the finals when they had Harden, right?
They were in the finals
with Durant and
Westbrook. Yeah, the Heat beat them. Yeah. So Mike's Chili Parlor, as they were there when the Sonics won the championship in '79. Thursday, 5:30 at the Chili. Go say hi to Mike. Go say hi to Angel. 5:30 OKC Hate Night.
Go say hi to you. I imagine you'll be there.
I'm going to pop on in. Yeah, you're damn right I am.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Excuse to grab a beer? Sure.
God, look, there's Jason Puckett. Oh,
yeah, you have to fend him off.
Yeah, I bet. No, you're a superstar, man. No, that's a great idea that Mike has there. And we're all pulling for Indiana, but boy, it's going to be an uphill battle on that one, I think, this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a real and that's what's just terrible about this whole thing. I mean, to watch them win it is just going to be a real painful reminder to a lot of people here. And it's just going to sting. And it would be easier with them if they had unlikable players too. But for those who don't like the NBA anymore, don't like the game, they play it in a manner in which it's envious of anyone that plays team sports. That's what makes it even worse in a way.
Well, no, not in a way. It does make it worse
because they play together.
Because you would normally like that team, but you just can't because of the history. You can't do it. But yeah, that's a rough one. You're going to have, I don't know, it's going to be I think it'll start out as a great celebration at Mike's Chili Parlor, and it might end up in, Mike, bring another round over here because we're going to drink to our sorrows.
We're going to need the Pacers to deliver. We're going to pull out that Indiana magic, just all of it. We're going to need it. We're going to need Tyrese Halliburton. We're going to need Pascal Siakam, just everybody. Going to have to bring their A game. Andrew Nimhart.
What you tell me, it's not just a one-year thing either. These guys are set up to have a dynasty.
If they keep them together, yeah. I mean, they're all young. The core of the team is young and talented and just, phenomenal. This could be just one of these things where you're just like throwing up in your mouth every year with these guys.
Yeah. Well, it sure looks like it, but we'll see. You never know on any given night, Puck.
Oh, yes, you never know. You never know with sports.
Yes, you never know.
Can always just surprise you. Just like it was surprising to see Scottie Scheffler win again.
God.
Jesus. Man, stop it. This guy. Stop winning.
I saw that he's had as many wins, in the last 30 days as the Rockies. Like he's won three times out of 4, and the Rockies have won 3 times out of 28.
I love it. It's the ninth. There's the numbers that come out of this that he won the Memorial yesterday. If anyone wasn't paying attention, 9th straight win with a 54-hole lead. 9 straight. So he's not coughed up a 54-hole lead, and he joins Tiger Woods as the only repeat winners of the Memorial. Tiger did it 3 straight years. He's the first player ever to win 3 PGA Tour events by 4 or more shots in consecutive seasons since Tiger didn't even do this. Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, and Byron Nelson. 1946 and 1945.
Yeah, and that 54-hole lead that he had was over Ben Griffin, who's been playing great lately, and he was only one shot back. But boy, Scottie took it to the house. And then congratulations to Nick Taylor. He had a good tournament. I think he finished third or fourth.
Yeah.
Won $1 million.
And Ricky Fowler gets a top 10, is now in the Open Championship. So this week it's the RBC. If you're in a golf league, just take somebody from Canada because that's fun. And then next week it's the U.S. Open, Oakmont.
Okay, I got to remember to get my names in this week. I just totally butchered that last week.
Yeah,
you start losing interest when you're 92nd out of 150 teams.
It does wane on you. And you being a golf fan today too is what they call the longest day in golf is taking place today as everyone is trying to qualify for the U.S. Open. Like I'm watching video right now of Max Homa is trying to qualify right now, and he's on a course and he's carrying his own bags.
Is he?
walking up the fairway, his own bag. He finishes as first 18 holes, 3 under for 69. He's tied for 7th, 6 spots up for grabs on the second 18, which he's about to get underway. So. That's
an interesting story with Max Homa, though, because he was on top, kind of hit bottom, and on the way back now, he's playing better the last month or so. And then for him to go out there with all those other guys, being an established PGA Tour pro like him, that says a lot about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was it. All right. Scottie Scheffler. Bet him next week. Although I can't use him anymore in my golf league. I'm out.
God, I never bet on him, though. The odds are too low.
Yeah.
I think he was 4-1 to win this week. Did you get the Jude thing done?
I did. It was a lot. God. I finally got it done. It was amazing.
That was impressive because I would have never known that you were multitasking.
Editing the audio and the video as you were talking. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. You've
been around, not your first rodeo, been around the block a few times.
Multi-talented.
Yeah.
All right.
God, you're gifted.
Yeah, thank you. More, please. What's the rest of the day? You gonna hit some golf balls? Maybe hit the hot tub? What do you?
God, well, I gotta get. Well, here's my problem. I gotta get to the DMV because I'm driving around with expired tabs. Not only am I driving around with expired tabs, but I need to change the Washington plates to Oregon.
Yeah,
I picture the officer pulling me over, and I hand him an Oregon driver's license, and he's going to say, "Why do you have Washington plates?"
Yeah.
But my dilemma is I've only got like $140 in my checking account, and I think it's going to cost more to get the Oregon plates than $140. So I just might go play golf with Mikey.
I think if you only have $140, how are you going to play golf?
There's a couple courses we could play. Twilight Rate for maybe 130, something like that. Yeah.
Hey. Don't change. Just don't ever change.
Yeah, I think he wants to play golf, and it's a pretty nice day, and so we'll probably try and get out.
Yeah, do that. All right. You're the best. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay, Puck. Go Cougs.
There he is. Go Cougs. Jim Moore, the go-to guy, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, all brought to you by A Clean Streak. No one better in the world. Yes. We finally were able to upload our interview earlier today with Adam Jude. Yeah, Adam Jude stopped by today. Bill Kruger was off today because he has a charity golf tournament that he's doing. So Adam kindly, warmly filled in today. And so we caught up with him right before Jim and I started the show to catch up on the announcement that Randy Johnson's number is going to be retired next season. We also got caught up on the Cole Young situation, Cal Raleigh, kind of the state of the Seattle Mariners. Of course, Adam Jude is filling in the shoes for Ryan Divish this year with the whole coverage of the Mariners and doing a great job. Of course, you can follow Adam there on social media at @A_Jude. Adam Jude, Seattle Times, talking all things Mariners baseball. What a special surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Look at kiddos. Look who we got. Adam Jude of the Seattle Times. You can follow him on social media. Why wouldn't you? At @A_Jude, here to talk a little Mariners baseball. And we got some somewhat breaking news here on this Monday. First of all, Jude, how are you, sir? Everything good?
I'm great. Everything's great. Baseball season, kids are running around, sun's out. Doesn't get much better, right?
All right, let's start with the news the Mariners announced today before we get into the baseball team. Randy Johnson's going to have his number retired. Kind of been waiting for this. Always wondered if they would do it at the same time with Ichiro, but they've given themselves two separate number retirements. So what's the latest? When is it going to take place?
Yeah, Randy Johnson's going to have 51 retired. Ichiro will be first. Obviously, they announced that previously. A big year for Ichiro going into the National Hall of Fame at the end of July. I'm really excited. I'll be there in Cooperstown. Larry Stone is coming out too. He'll hold my hand through it. It'll be my first time out there. So really looking forward to that one. And then the Mariners in August are going to have a big ceremony for Ichiro, recognizing the Hall of Fame and then retiring his 51. And then next season in 2026, they'll retire Randy Johnson's 51. So I'm imagining two separate 51s hanging up there next to Griffey and Edgar and 42, of course. And so pretty special for Randy, like you said, like kind of a long time coming. And how would they handle that with the two 51s? It's so unique, right? Can you think of two Hall of Fame players, two franchise icons in any sport for any single team having the same exact numbers? So pretty unique situation for the Mariners, and it's a nice tribute. And I think they're handling it the right way, right? This is kind of what you want to do. Two separate things, but sort of piggybacking off each other. It makes a ton of sense. And Ichiro, I thought, had a nice gesture in January at his news conference when he talked a lot about 51 and wanting to represent it well because of Randy and not wanting to just be an average player wearing 51. It's got to be someone special, and why that 51 was special to him. So yeah, a nice piece of news and a nice gesture for the Mariners here.
Yeah, so opposite just in terms, obviously in the style of play, two different positions. They look, the one is a giant human being, the other is not. But I find it that they were very quietly stoic, though, which is very similar in each way. One was more of a fiery personality in Randy when he went to the mound, but, they weren't rah-rah guys. They were, big behind-the-scene guys, which they definitely have some similarities there with the two. And here's the thing. It felt like in the last year that there has been an olive branch being put out to Randy because it didn't seem like he was ever around the team. And then, Dan Wilson becomes the manager. Maybe there's a lot to that. He's at spring training. I don't know, Adam. I don't ever remember him going out to spring training before, but he was there this year. So maybe there was a relationship that was stained in the past, but now obviously has been clearly put behind him and rectified.
Yeah, and you think about obviously 98 and just how dramatic that was and sort of the back and forth, some of the drama with the contracts, and he wasn't happy and he wasn't pitching well, and then they finally get the trade to Houston. I think that's, if you think of that image of someone coming up to, I can't remember who it was, but coming up to Randy in the dugout whispering in his ear mid-game, right, that he had been traded and that, kind of been on Randy trade watch for a while there. I remember that, but yeah, what a career, though. You think about the 90s Mariners and obviously juniors, the face of the sport at the time, but just where would they be without Randy Johnson? First no-hitter in franchise history, first Cy Young Award, and just that intimidating presence. And then you think about Ichiro, two left-handed, maybe two of the best left-handed players of all time, right? Randy, the left-handed pitcher, no one more dominant in the sport, period, as a pitcher. And then Ichiro, no one more, successful, efficient, doing what he did both in their own unique ways too. So it's really cool that they're going to be kind of forever linked, probably hanging up next to each other at T-Mobile Park.
Speaking of left-handers, right? A left-hand hitter. It just felt it was inevitable. It was coming. He was certainly making it hard for the Mariners not to bring him up. They obviously make the decision this past weekend at Cole Young to bring him up, and he delivers immediately. Saturday comes up, gets his first major league hit, and then has the game-winning RBI. This was, again, felt inevitable. And they made the decision to bring him up, and obviously he's a play a ton. But what about your thoughts on the call up there of Cole Young?
Yeah, like you said, I think it was inevitable. They were building toward this. He was just so smoking hot all May, which is a really weird juxtaposition because I was down there Thursday talking to him before the game, and he was basically like, April was the worst slump I've ever been in my life. He was not in a good space. And then to be able to kind of flip it as quickly as he did is obviously says something about a guy who can maybe handle some struggles here, right? It's not going to be smooth for him coming up to the major leagues, seeing major league pitching every day. So how is he going to handle maybe a little bit of a slump? How is he going to handle the transition and the adjustments he's going to have to make? And so I think the Mariners saw what they needed to see even from a 21-year-old kid. I think he's the third youngest player on a major league roster right now. He's not very big, right? He's 5'10", 180 pounds. He's a kind of a true second baseman. I think the Mariners think he can play short if they need him to, but they've obviously viewed him as their second baseman of the future for a while now. And I think, to me, you look at him in these first couple major league games. I just look at the way he holds the bat and he swings the bat. It just looks like it's an extension of his body, right? It just looks so good, so natural. The bat, to me, looks, I don't know how to explain this. It looks big in his hand, but at the same time, it looks like he's swinging it like a magic wand or something, right? And that's, not to compare him to Ichiro, but that's how I always felt with Ichiro too. The bat, it looked like it was almost too big for him, but the way he's just able to control it, get the barrel to the ball so consistently, that's really his superpower. And again, he doesn't have a ton of raw power. He's not going to hit 25 home runs, I don't think, ever in his big league career. But if you get 10 to 12 home runs out of him, a 280 to 300 hitter, a guy who works at bats, going to get on base at a consistently high level, had more walks than strikeouts at AAA, which again is the youngest player in the PCL, tells you something. He's got it. Again, whether he's got it for this team at this time, right now, for a team obviously that has designs on getting to the playoffs, we'll find out. And that's kind of the whole thing about it. That's why you do it right now at the end of May, to find out, okay, you've got basically 2 months before the trade deadline. Have we solved second base, or is this something in the short term we need to go out and address at the trade deadline at the end of July?
Do you think this is the first of other moves to come? I mean, Locklear's been up before. There's always going to be some. Harry Ford's doing great work down there in Tacoma, but again, that's a different situation because of who he's playing behind, right? You bring these guys up, you'd like him to play a lot, and he wouldn't play a lot. What do you think their thinking is on that moving forward? Yeah,
in fact, I don't want to scoop myself because I got a story coming out here this week on Harry Ford. I talked to Jerry DiPoto for a while. I was down there in Tacoma, talked to Harry Ford as well. And look, he said, I'm a catcher, and I give him a ton of credit. Like, he's put a ton of work in. If you go back and look at the history of Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball draft, at how many players are drafted at high school that try to become catchers at the Major League level, it's a very, very low success rate. Most college catchers, again, Cal Raleigh is the perfect example right now. They're coming out of college. There's just so many demands, right? 90% of your job is being a catcher and working with pitchers and the defensive side of things. And then the 10 to 20% that's left is as a hitter. And so for Harry Ford to do what he's doing, you're talking about an on-base machine, one of the highest walk rates in all of AAA. And again, he's still 22, one of the youngest players in AAA. The maturity, just everything. You talk to the Mariners, they drafted him in the first round for a reason, because of the makeup. And then for him to progress the way he has, right on track. He's going to be up at some point this year too. I'm pretty confident in that. Again, what's the plan? How are they going to use him? Can he play left field? Can he sneak in at first base or third base at some time? I mean, frankly, no. He's a catcher. And so it'll be really interesting going forward. And not only less so about this year, but more about in the next couple of years with Cal Raleigh still in his prime. How they sprinkle in the DH days versus catching days. Obviously, Mitch Garver is a free agent after this year. I think you can pencil in right now Cal Raleigh as your regular catcher next year, but then Harry Ford's going to be the backup and maybe more of a heavy workload than most backups in baseball, just because, obviously we're seeing it right now. Cal's going to DH more and more going forward. You want to save his legs. You want to keep him fresh as much as possible for a playoff push. And I think Harry can help in that regard this year. Again, how that works with the roster moves and all that, we'll find out who's hot, who's not. And again, at the end of the day, Ryan Divish obviously speculated on this a lot at this time last year and last summer. Yeah, of course, Harry Ford's name is going to come up in a lot of trades. We know that the Tampa Bay Rays were really on him, really coveted him last year. And, maybe the Mariners circle back there. But for now, there's nothing more valuable in baseball than a Cal Raleigh, than a guy who can work with the pitching staff, can catch as much as he does, and slug and hit and do all the things that he does. A two-way catcher that is good at both things is as valuable as anything in baseball. And if they think that Harry Ford has the chance to be a guy who can be a really good defensive catcher and have some unique offensive skill set too, why wouldn't you give that guy a chance?
You think they will revisit or have revisited at least asking him if he would switch positions? Or give another position a try?
No, it hasn't come up.
Okay.
He tried, I think, 8 games in left field last year in AA Arkansas.
And it
just
didn't
feel
go well.
comfortable. They haven't brought it up since. So
Okay.
again, scooping myself a little bit there, but
all right. Well, don't give up too much.
It's fine. He sees himself as a catcher. The Mariners see him as a catcher. And again, if why wouldn't you, if a guy who's good behind the plate, good at the plate, keep him there.
Do you think they would? I'm just curious about it because it was something that came up last week. Jim and I were talking about this. Do you think they would be comfortable bringing him up now? But if you do that, now what do you do with Garver? Would you be comfortable if when he doesn't play catcher, do you DH him? Or I think my argument was that is too much to ask a guy making his major league debut to now slide in to be a DH.
Yeah, again, the other side of it is really hard to evaluate a catcher defensively too at the minor league level, right? We don't have eyes on him every day just from our seat. And then even for talent evaluators, scouts from other teams trying to look at him like, yeah, he looks smooth back there. He's got a cannon for an arm. Again, how is he working with pitchers? He puts in the work and the time behind the scenes, but how does he call a game? Those are one of the hidden things, one of the really tough things to evaluate young players is just the game calling, the defense. That stuff usually comes last too, just because it takes time, it takes the reps. What is a pitcher's comfortability with the guy? And again, I know Harry Ford is really well respected, has been in every minor league clubhouse he's been in. Again, very mature. He was leading an older staff. He played in the World Baseball Classic with Great Britain as a 19, 20-year-old kid, working with pitchers, some of them twice his age, who had some major league experience. So I think he's on the right track, but that's the thing. Is he ready now to go catch Andres Munoz in the 9th inning in a 1-run game with that nasty spin and all? It's just, those are things you don't know sometimes until they're in the fire. And so I don't know the answer to that question. Like, is he ready? Will they kind of throw him in right now? I think obviously they like what they have, feel like they have one of the best catching combinations in baseball with, Garver isn't producing the way obviously the Mariners and fans had hoped he would coming over in that free agent deal, but he's a very good backup catcher for what you're asking him to do right now. And I think they're comfortable with that, but we'll see if Harry Ford continues to do what he's doing, getting on base. He's slugging. He hit one like 434 in Tacoma the other day into the parking lot, I think. Like, he is mashing. And just like with Cole Young, at some point they kind of force your hand and you figure it out once you get to the major league level. Last
thing for you, Adam. Have you run out of words to describe what Cal Raleigh's been able to do this year?
Man, he's on pace for 64 homers right now. I mean, come on. Ridiculous. This is just, I said it a couple years ago, and obviously Ryan, being a big-time college catcher that he was, has kind of felt a kinship with Cal going back to the minor league days too. But I just remember thinking, like, just you look at him and the makeup and the way he goes about it, just felt like he had a chance to be the best two-way catcher in baseball. And now I think you take the qualifier off it, right? That was one where you add up what he means defensively, you add up how good he is with the slug offensively. Now he's just the best catcher, period. We've been saying that for months now, but he's the best offensive catcher. He's the best defensive catcher. He is a unicorn. And there's a reason he's in the conversation with Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge right now as the best player in baseball. I don't think we ever thought we'd say that. Now we can graduate from best catcher in baseball. Now, is he the most valuable player in baseball just because of the total package, what he brings? Once Shohei Ohtani starts pitching again, he's in his own stratosphere. But it's just incredible. I mean, obviously, you could say, where would the Mariners be without him? It's hard to imagine. You don't want to imagine if you're a Mariner fan. But and again, just the way he goes about it, just his own quiet charisma, right? Julio's got the so much vibrancy, so much fun, so much joy, but it's just the everyday, beer in the shower type of guy that Cal brings, his persona, the grind, the work ethic, the put his head down. He's not showy about it. He's kind of boring in some ways, but boring is awesome, right? When you're a baseball player, boring is good. And there's nothing boring about, obviously, all the home runs he's hitting, but just the put my head down. I don't want to talk about myself. Let's make it about everyone else. Let's make it about the team. I think that's what has endeared Cal to so many fans here.
Just like you, Adam. There he is, Adam Jude, Seattle Times, covering your Seattle Mariners. Follow him on Twitter at @A_Jude. Read all of his work, Mariners page there at Seattle Times. Get yourself a hard copy. Support it. Get a little ink on your fingers. And, of course, SeattleTimes.com. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you, Puck. Thanks, man.
There he is, Adam Jude of the Seattle Times, of course, filling in for Ryan Divish this summer as Divish taking his sabbatical, right? The Havre North Stars. He'll be back, though, in August covering the Beep at Adam and others, Tim Booth, Bob Condotta, all doing a great job of filling in his absence. And again, good stuff there. If you don't know the news, Randy Johnson, his number 51, will be retired next year by the organization. They have not announced the date as of yet. In fact, a conference call is going on right now there with Randy Johnson. But good for the organization, good for Randy there as well, because there was a disconnect. There was a disconnect between Randy and the organization for a while. And a lot of some of those fences and maybe hurt feelings was amended. And I bet you, I don't bet you, I mean, I'd put a lot of money on it that having Dan Wilson as the manager had a lot to do with that. I mean, you saw Randy show up there at spring training this year, have a big presence, talking to all the guys. You just hadn't seen that. Hadn't seen that at all. And one thing is, no matter how poorly it ends between a player and an organization, that you can always come back. That player will always be and should be welcome back. Always. There was, if you're my age, there was no other situation that was as contentious and bad as the situation between the Seahawks and Kenny Easley. Maybe he sued the team, and they were able to mend the fences. So, because Randy did not feel good about how things were going at the end of his time there in '98, and the disconnect that he had with the front office and the just everybody, the ownership. And again, it probably took a number of years for that to finally be rectified, and you can. You can always you come back home, right? You can always come back home. So it's great that they're going to retire his number. There have been other organizations. I think the Yankees have done it. Someone on our chat was saying the Cubs have done it. You got two iconic figures that wore the same number. And I think it's pretty cool that they both will be represented there in the Mariners Hall of Fame. All right, as we wrap up the show here on a Monday, Bill Kruger will be back next week, Old School Baseball with Bill, and we'll talk with him next week. The Sports Pit there's been some scheduling conflicts. We are hoping behind the scenes to get a new recording to come out on Tuesday night. And it should be a big one because it will not only be myself, Steve Sandmeyer, Matt Stretch Johnson, but we're welcoming some just kind of an old hack in radio who has barely made it. You get Mitch Unfiltered, Mitch Levy, Mitchy the Kid will be joining the this week's Sports Pit. And we are efforting to have that recorded Tuesday and get it out as soon as we possibly can. So there'll be no Sports Pit coming out today, hoping to get it recorded tomorrow night. When you have that many egos of those three people on one show, you got to talk to their managers. They got to talk to their people. They get back. No, that doesn't work for me. I need this time. I need this mic. I mean, all of it. It's a lot. It's a lot with those three. All right. And coming up on tomorrow, we'll have John Canzano on the show. We'll ask him about this rumor that is flying around social media right now about Texas State getting an invitation to the Pac-12. We can address that with John tomorrow. Jim Duquette, of course, our MLB network GM, will be with us. We'll talk about the state of baseball, the Mariners, the heater that Cal Raleigh is on right now, looking ahead to some players that could be available there in the trade deadline for Seattle, get his thoughts on Cole Young, and just all things baseball. Terrific series this past weekend, Dodgers and Yankees, and the show that Ohtani and Aaron Judge put on. We cover baseball from a national perspective every single Tuesday with the great Jim Duquette. Tuesdays are fun with Jim and also John Canzano. All right. Before we wrap it up, Hey, What the Puck, which is always brought to you by our good friends at Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when those damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Back to the decision this weekend here by the WIAA. And I think two things can be true. One, I think they made an error in having these games at that stadium with sounds like prior knowledge that there were some light issues there. And by all accounts, just not a really good venue. Just kind of a dump, really. We got to do better for this association to have championship events at championship caliber venues. It's important for the kids and the parents and just everyone involved. It looks good. At the same token of what happened this past weekend, again, Jim and I talked about it, but they had a lighting issue in the 4A semifinal game at Puyallup and Lake Washington, which then the umpires and the WIAA decided to pause the game, resume it the next morning. But by doing that, it wiped out the consolation games, which include one of them, including Ballard High School, to play for the third place trophy. And so those teams, didn't get a chance to play one more baseball game. And the parents that get a chance, to play one more, see their kids play one more baseball game. They had to buy 2-day passes. I don't know if they got refunded on that stuff or not. And it just was a sour way to end your season, seniors or not. And could have been avoided. Had to be other venues there that you could have worked, around. There's other high schools around the area to switch it up, to get the teams over there. Excuse me. And I don't know, maybe they did exhaust all those avenues or not. But I think we could have done better for the kids. I will say this, though, because I've saw the comments on social media about the association. And again, we all make mistakes and we're not perfect, and neither is the WIAA. Say this, though, anyone that points a finger and says they don't care about the kids, I just would just disagree with that. I know those people that work hard behind the scenes, and I know how much time and effort that they put in to do everything that they can to make these championship experiences great for the families and kids, and they care about the kids. So you can say, hey, they messed up. They should have known. They should have had a better backup plan, and I would agree with that. But I would never point a finger at them and say that they don't care about the students and the families and the kids that are participating in sports, because they care very deeply. But like all of us, we say it after every show, promise to be better. Everyone can be better. And I think that they will learn from this. And I think from what happened this weekend, I think there's going to be a positive that comes out of this. And the positive is going to be they have done a wonderful job by playing these championship games for football at Husky Stadium. I think it's tremendous. If you haven't been there, the venue's terrific. Kids love playing there. It's big time. This gives them an opportunity now to do something similar for baseball. And whether that's rotating every year from the Husky ballpark to Bobo Brayton, terrific. Or even use Gonzaga, Spokane Indians. I mean, listen, we can revisit a topic. There's a lot of money and public money and money that was earmarked for kids and youth fields that was taken away, right? Remember that story? Taken away from them and put towards these minor league parks where the Indians play, where Tri-Cities plays, where the Rainiers play, where the Aqua Sox play. Play at one of those venues. They're world class. And give these kids a world-class experience. All right. That is, Hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One in North Seattle. It's a restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage. Give them a call, 206-817-8917. Visit the website, restoration1.com. Big thanks to everyone watching and listening today on a Monday. Thank you to all the sponsors, Limbeck Lumber. Of course, Georgetown Brewery, as always, joining us. Check out their new tavern beer. And, of course, Restoration One. Today's daily puck drop. Find it up on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel, like it, leave a comment, try to get to as many as we can. think we're at 5,000. I think we just got there. Also, find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms and, of course, at pucksports.com. When you're at pucksports.com, sign up to be a member of the Pucks Posse. $5 a month. It supports all the free content that we do. Plus, we give you added bonus material you can't get anywhere else unless you are a Pucks Posse member. Our baseball coverage with our MLB insider Ryan Divish, the Sports Pit with Steve Sandmeyer and Matt Stretch Johnson. And again, it will include a visit this week with Mitchie the Kid. Speaking of Mitchie the Kid, he joins us on Thursdays during the live show, and then once the show's over, his appearance goes behind the Pucks Posse membership paywall. And every Monday, will be coming out later today, we produce the Graz with Gas Take 5 podcast. You can find it on YouTube and all podcast platforms, and, of course, up at pucksports.com. All right, that's it for us here on a Monday. We'll see you on a Tuesday show. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no dice.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!